Your body is made up of millions of tiny building blocks called cells. They make up all the tissues and organs in your body, but there are so many different types of organs and types of cells that make them up. How do the cells in the different organs know what cells to become? The answer lies in stem cells. These are cells which are a template for the specialised cells. They contain all the information to become lots of different cell types, and they wait in areas of the body in case you have an injury, get an infection, or just need new cells after the old ones have worn out. Stem cells are very important as they give scientists a way to make tissues and hopefully organs outside the body. By turning on switches in the lab, we can try to grow new tissues and organs and use them to treat people who have diseases or who have been injured. This is called regenerative medicine. The technology is in the early stages, and so there is lots of research into the best methods of growing stem cells in labs. The stem cells which produce bone are called skeletal stem cells. They can turn into bone, cartilage or fat. For surgeons who operate on people's bones, being able to create bone cells is very important to help healing and surgical implants attaching to the bone. These cells attach to surfaces via feet, essentially made up of proteins. Differences in the stiffness, shape and size of the surface the feet are attached to turns on different switches. For example, on a hard surface, bone cells are made. On soft surfaces, the difference in the attachments means that fat cells are made. Scientists in Glasgow have invented a new way of flicking these switches on or off, called nano-kicking. This is when the cells are given vibrations that are so small that they can be detected by the cell's feet. The kicks are very tiny and happen thousands of times a second. When they are detected, the bone switches are turned on and the cell spreads out slowly, turning into a bone cell.
Nano-kicking came about because a colleague of mine was interested if, when cells stuck onto surfaces, if they vibrated on the nanoscale, vibrated their adhesions, this could be used to have any positive effects on cells. So he started collaborating with gravity wave physicists to develop all these techniques for making very small measurements, as they wanted to detect gravity waves, which are incredibly small, much smaller than our nanokicks. Interestingly, he was exactly right. It seemed like a mad, eccentric idea to us. But as we vibrate the stem cells, we tell them to turn into bone cells, and we can envisage clinical use for that in bone augmentation processes.
Here at the university, we use nanokick bioreactors to perform different types of experiments on different types of cells. We can control the height of the nanovibration, the amplitude, the number of times we shake the cells per second, the frequency, and the overall duration of stimulation. After the stimulation period, we take the cells for analysis to see how they reacted to the nano-kicking. We can then further analyse these by looking at the cells down a microscope to see how their shape has changed, or look even deeper into their genes to see which ones have been switched on or switched off.
Well, in the lab, nanoscale mechanical stimulus, or nano-kicking, can promote stem cells to become more like bone cells. In upscaling this reaction, it may be possible to generate bone in the lab, to test new medications, to use as a bone graft where bone is lacking, or even, in the future, potentially improve bone healing within the human body.